with the lecture, and in last class we have studied CNN. Okay, so I'll just give a quick recap because most of you have almost forgotten, I think. So I'll just make a quick recap of what we have already studied, and then we'll see we in today's lecture we'll see how CNN is basically working in overall overall workflow for the CNN. Okay, so let's see. So first thing for CNN is, suppose you have, so first I'll discuss what is the workflow. So for CNN, if you have a set of input images, so this is your input layer, then you have a convolution layer, I'll call it con1. Then you have a pooling layer, I'll call it a pool 1. Then you have again convolution layer, and then you have again pooling layer. Then after doing all this portion, this is for your images. Okay, what you do is you flatten your image over here. This is not a layer, you just flatten whatever is coming from the previous inputs, image that is coming from your previous inputs. Okay, so after that, after flattening, we have a fully connected layer. So we have end the discussion in the last class over here. So we have a fully connected layer over here. Then we can apply multiple fully connected layers, and then we can have final softmax output. This is softmax output. So this is your general workflow for a CNN. Now here I have selected one convolution layer and one pool. Please mute your mics, whosoever it is. Okay. So what happens is sometimes you do have in some scenarios you can see that there are convolution layer 1, convolution layer 2, and then you have a pooling layer, and then you have so you can have a multiple convolution layers as well. Okay, so this can be the scenario. So this changes with respect to the application. If you find, so there is no hard and fast rule of how many layers and how many what are the what would be the sequence, but sequence would be after a convolution layer you should be having a pooling layer, and then you should be having a fully connected layer, and then there is a softmax layer, or you people also use sigmoid over here. Okay, so generally we use a softmax because softmax is for multi-class classification. So what is a softmax? I'll just quickly give you overview. So for softmax, you have in softmax function, if you have y output classes, that is for suppose you have a cat and a dog and a, let's say, horse, 3 animals you were having, so you have 3 output nodes. So in y, that is softmax layer, you would be having 3 nodes, and first node would be giving some probability, second would be giving some probability, and third would be giving probability. Now here is your CNN, and you are giving some input image 1. So image 1, if it's a cat, I would say that probability of P1 should be highest. If it's a dog, probability of P2 should be highest, and if it's a horse, probability of P3 should be highest. Also, there is I'll just show you the formula for this is AL is equals to, first is you calculate e to the power CL by sigma I, j is equals to 1 to 3. 3 is number of classes, and Ti, T where Ti is equals to sum of all the basically E C L. So like this. So what is this actually? So this is the whole calculation part. Suppose you have a vector z, that is your output of your activation, which is 5, 2, and let's say -1 and 3, something like this. You have that is coming from previous layer. So now you are applying t. So t, you will calculate t as e to the power 5, e to the power 2, -1, e to the power 3. Now you have t. You can calculate this lower part, and then you can divide it by so this is your output of your softmax layer. So this is softmax function. ठीक है? So whatever it's returning, so suppose the final output is, let's say, 0.8, 0.4, 0.2, and something like that. So this would never be 0.8, 0.4. It would be some would always be 1. Some of all the classes would always be 1. So this p1, p2, p3, all these three, p1 plus p2 plus p3 is 1. Okay, so this is the case. So this is your softmax function. So let's come back, let's move on to previous thing that we were discussing. So we have a CNN. Now in a CNN, we have discussed already, we have a convolution layer, we have a pooling layer, then we have multiple convolution pooling, multiple convolution, then pooling, and then we are flattening this, then fully connected. How does this work? Suppose if I am getting, after pooling, I am getting some image of my size, something like that. So if I am flattening, now in this fully connected layer, suppose I am putting 100 neurons. So there would be 100 neurons, and fully connected means all these 75 values would be interconnected to all the 100 values that we have already seen in the neural network. See, all the connections in the previous layer are connected to all the 100 all the neurons in the next layer. So this is my fully connected layer. Second, I have put another fully connected layer. So this would be again be the case. So all the connections are interconnected, all the neurons are interconnected. Then in the final softmax layer, again, all the connections are connected to all the three output neurons that we have. Now over here, how weights are calculated. I will remove this part with the just a wait, just Okay, okay. So what I was saying was, over here, suppose so this layer, each and every layer would be having some uh, uh, percentage of neuron. Let's say for this layer, we already know we have some number of weights. If this is 75 and this was 100, this is 75, this is 100. So size of this would be 100 cross 75. So number of weights that you are learning on this layer would be 100 cross 75, right? Similarly, you can calculate for all the rest of the layers. Now for convolution layer and for pooling layer, we'll discuss one by one. So in convolution layer, we have two things that we have already discussed, which was padding and which was striding. So after padding, I get image size of n. If my padding is same, uh, there is no padding and there is same padding. There are two types of padding. We have already discussed that. So in no padding, my image size is reduced to n minus f plus 1, and in same padding, my image size remains same. ठीक है, that is n, because I keep my padding size of f minus 1 by 2, right? So image size, output image size that I'm talking about. So input was n image size, output I'll get as n if my padding is same. ठीक है. After striding, if I'm applying striding as well, so my output image size would change to n plus 2p minus f by s plus 1 cross n plus 2p minus f by s plus 1. This we have seen in the last class also, after padding and striding. So this padding and striding we do in this convolution layer only. Okay. After that, we have a max pooling layer. So after this, over here, I get an output of, I will call it, let's say, uh, some notation, let's say R1 cross R1. Okay, so I call this whole number as R1. So output over here is R1. Okay, now I'm doing pooling. So for pooling layer, this we were talking about convolution layer. Now let's talk about for pooling layer. So for pooling layer, we have size of input size was R, and if I'm applying a filter of f cross f, I will get a pooling of R by f. How this is coming, I'll explain. So this way it works. Now n, then it is converted to n minus n plus 2p minus f by s plus 1, then it is converted to R by f, and so on. So this way it is proceeding. Now we will see how this is working. So let us have a look at, because if we have uh, let us have a look at pooling layer first. So in pooling, if we have image input in the previous layer was some image of let's say 6 cross 6. So this would be 1 2 3 4 5 and then 6. Okay, this is first, second, third, fourth, 5 and 6. Okay, so this is my 6 cross 6 image, and now my filter for pooling layer was, let's say, 2 cross 2. So in pooling layer, if this is n cross n, this is f cross f, size is f cross f. So f cross f means it is multiple over here. So if it is a 3D, it would be something like, this is second channel. If it is colored image, so this is my third channel, and then this is, so size of this, if n cross number of channels. So number of channels are nc, and size of this filter would be number of channels, which is 3 over here. So first channel, second channel, third channel. F cross f is the size of the filter. So this nc and this nc would always be the same, because what we are doing is we are superimposing this whole filter over this position over here, and the second layer would get superimposed over this position, and third layer would get superimposed over third position. So this cube is superimposed to this cube, and then we are calculating the first position over here. Okay, so we get image size of n plus that r cross r, and the r value of r was n plus 2p minus f plus 1 by s. So this was r. So output size of R is output of this image is R cross R. Now, if I'm applying in pooling, what happens is this I am talking about convolution. So in pooling, output size is not R cross R. In pooling, output size is N by F. Why is it? Because there is no overlapping. I would delete this again. So this is my convolution and this is my pooling. So what happens over here is, so over here this whole filter is kept over the image if it is a 4x4 image. So this is my 2x2 filter. So this filter would be kept in the this filter would be kept over this position, first position. Okay, second position is if I am doing non-overlapping, so second position is this. Okay, third position is this and fourth position is this. So if size was 4x4, image size was, and filter size was 2x2, so my output would be 2x2 image, right? Because this filter is superimposed to this position, this position, this position, and this 4. So 4 values I'll get. So that is 4 by 2. So this is n by f. So this is 2x2. So size of this filter, this image, output image after pooling is 2 by 2. So this is what I'm explaining over here, that in pooling size is n by f, in convolution size is r by r. So you have to remember this. Okay, up till now any confusion about the sizes of pooling and convolution layer?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so let us have a look. If what happens if I have, so this was only one filter I'm talking about. So if I have, let's say up to n filters I have. Okay, for this layer, suppose I have x, or I will write some other number. Let's say I have q number of filters. Number of filters I have. So this is my only one filter. So this process would be repeated for another filter. So this whole process is repeated for another filter. So this I will draw it from this whole process would be repeated for another filter, and the size of that filter would be again be f cross nc. F cross nc. So now I have one filter, I have second filter. So the output that I get after applying convolution and after applying pooling, so final size that I will get is basically r by f over here. So final size after applying these two, I will get something r by f, right? Image size would be r by f cross r by f, r by f cross r by f, है ना? जो final output image होगी, that would be something r by f and r by f. This is my output image. ठीक है? So over here, if I am repeating the process again, so I would again get a r by f size image. So size of this would be r by f again. So how many times I would get this r by f? Yes. So how many times do I get this r by f? So if I have 5 filters, so if I am having 5 filters, so I will get 5 times r by f size image, r by f cross r by f, right? So that is why if my input size was n cross nc, and I have some q number of filters, so output size would be r by f cross r by f cross q. Q is the number of filters that I'm talking about, right? So this is my input size and this is my output size. There should be no confusion about this. This is my output size. So after this whole process is done, only one layer, convolution layer and pooling layer is done. after this whole process is done. So jitna bhi process that we have covered till now, this explains this part only. This explains this part, convolution plus pooling. So over after this I am getting some image size of r by f over here. ठीक है. After that, that r by f is passed on to next convolution and pooling layer. Now one more thing there is to remember is this layer. I will call this layer as layer 1. So one pooling plus one convolution comprises of complete one layer. This is called as layer 2. If I'm talking about two layer convolution neural network, two layers it is having, two convolution layers it is having. So first convolution layer will comprise of this and this, and second is this and this. Sometimes some people also refer these layers separately. They will call this as layer 1 and they will call pooling layer as layer 2. But generally we don't count pooling layer because pooling layer has no parameters. Now what is parameters, we'll see. So this is layer 2, and flattening is not consisting of anything, so it's just flattening. Over here this is layer 3, and this is again layer 4, and this is also a output layer. Okay, so this is layer 5. So generally we don't count pooling layer because it is not having number of parameters. Why? So why it is not having? In fully connected layer we have seen we have 100 cross 75 number of parameters, that is weights and biases. In convolution layer we have weights, that is number of filters values. Okay. In convolution layer we have filter values, plus one more thing that we do in convolution is over here. So okay, I'll make it on next page. Okay, so convolution and pooling consist of convolution plus pooling, that we have discussed in last class as well. Ki we have some input image and then we do apply filter. Or in this filter we have striding, we have padding, and finally we get some convolution output. Okay, convolution output. Now we get some image, then we apply the bias and weights. Activation over here, activation and bias. We have seen in the last class this part ki after we get this convolution image, that is r cross r image, after we get this, input was n cross n image, n cross n image, and filter was f cross f. So on this r cross r, and we generally apply bias. So how do we do that? So suppose if I have an image of 3 cross 3, so I will apply activation function on all the values in that image that I have retrieved, that is I cross R image. So for all the I cross R values I will apply activation and then I will add a bias. Okay, this part is done. Then after doing this, yes, after doing this we do pooling. Okay, in pooling we have I cross R image. We are supposed doing pooling, and we have R cross R image, and we apply some filter. Filter हमने कुछ apply कर दिया. That is again उसका कुछ size था. Filter was, let's say f new f or cross new f size का filter था. We had some filter of size new f cross new f, and so finally what do we get? We get r by new f cross r by new f size of final output image after pooling. ठीक है, so this is my convolution plus pooling overall workflow. Now in convolution layer, if I have so what is activation and what is bias? So activation and bias is for layers, for values that is we are learning, right? So for what are we learning over here is the weights of the filter. So filter is f cross f. So if my filter size is f cross f, so there would be w1 w2 up to wf. ठीक है, and then again for next layer also W1 cross W2, some next for second filter, sorry for let's look at the example. Suppose I have F cross F, that is 3 cross 3 filter. So for a 3 cross 3 filter I have weights 1 2 up to W9. Okay, so for all the weights I want to learn all these weights via CNN. And second thing what I want to learn is for all the weights there must be a bias. Okay, no, not for all the weights, for one image. For one image there is one bias and one and 9 parameters. So basically total number of parameters that convolution layer is learning is 9 plus 1, that is 1 is bias and this is number of weights. So total number of parameters that it is learning is 10 over here. Okay, and similarly but in pooling layer these parameters are not learned. So in only in a convolution layer total number of parameters that are learned is 10. But this output image, if I am drawing this network over here, okay, so this output image is having R by nu F. So if this output image is, I'm flattening this image, so if after flattening it will look something like this, blue color, okay, so it will look something like this. So size of this would be R cross nu F cross R cross nu F. This would be the size in values. So this is one value, some V1. Okay. So this V1, now I am applying a fully connected layer or which is having, let's say, 100 neurons. So weights of this would be 100 cross V1. So number of weights on this fully connected layer is, we have already seen this, that 100 cross V1 would be there. And since from previous layer we have V1 nodes, so these are the weights. And we have how many biases? So we have V1 biases. So total number of parameters that are learned on this fully connected layer is number of neurons in this fully connected layer multiplied by number of values that is coming from previous layer plus the number of biases that are coming from the previous layer. So total number of, so you can see that at fully connected layer we have so many weights to learn, while in convolution part we have only R cross R, 3 cross 3 weights to learn. Okay, 3 cross 3 plus bias. Okay, so this was the overall idea behind parameters and image size. If you have any confusion up till now, you can ask. Okay, so in last class, somebody asked me that what is the need of doing this convolution. We could have simply taken this image and we could have simply flattened this image and we could have learned the neural network and we could have simply given the output, right? So there are first reason that that was discussed was that number of features. So because if there is an image and there is some object in this image, okay, and we want to learn, so at every pixel value the weights calculation of this pixel value depends upon nearby pixels more rather than the whole image, right? So this is why in convolution only learns at every pixel value, it only learns the weights of a particular window. That window is filter size, so it is only giving priority in calculating the middle value only nearby values. It's giving the priority to nearby values only in calculating the 1 pixel value, right? So instead of flattening it and passing all the features as input, it is only it only wants to give focus on the nearby pixels, first thing. So that is why we are not flattening. Second thing is number of parameters. So you have already seen that if it is 100, if I'm flattening this image and I'm again putting some neurons, so 100 cross 100, so this is a flattened layer. So how many connections are there? Or 100, this 100 would be for a 25 cross 5 cross 3 image. 5 cross 5 cross 3 image would be having 75 values after flattening. So it is 75,000 connections. So 7,500 connections for a 5 cross 5 image, but image size is generally 1000. So 1000 cross 1000. in real life. So it would be something 10 to the power 6 or something like. So many connections are there. So to avoid this, we do convolution. In convolution, what we are doing is we are only multiplying each and every part with 9 values. That is by filter cross filter size. If it is a 3 cross 3, we are multiplying every value with only 9 values. So this basically this whole set is connected with only these 9 values. Instead of all the neurons connected with all the neurons in next layer, only each and every neuron in the previous image is connected with only 9 neurons in the filter, right? So this is also the reason convolutional neural network is extremely popular with the images, because it reduces the number of parameters that are required to be learned. Okay. Second thing is this. So this is also called parameter sharing. What is happening, because we are only learning W1 to W9, we are only learning 9 filter values for the whole image. For the whole image size can be 1000 cross 1000. So for 1000 cross 1000, we are only learning 9 values. So these 9 parameters work fine for all the 1000 values of the image. So those parameters are shared for all the values. Instead of learning weight matrix for each and every neuron or each and every pixel, they are learning 9 values only, and those 9 are shared for all the neurons that are giving from the input from the previous layer. Okay. So this is the idea behind why convolution is required, and why what is the need of convolution, and why it is very extremely popular. Okay, now let's have a look at some examples. So over here, if you are not understanding this, I will just have, this is my input. So input means we have a 32 cross 32 cross RGB image, which is having only 3 channels. So if I am multiplying all these 3, I will get 3072 number of values, that is activation level. Okay. Now here I'm applying a filter of 5 cross 5 cross 3. So if I'm applying 5 cross 5 cross 3 with a striding of 1 and padding of none, pad is equals to 0, s is equals to 1. So I will get n minus f plus 1. So this is 28 cross 28. So this is the size of n minus f plus 1, and 8, yes, and 8 is the number of filters. So number of filters that I'm applying is 8. So for 8 filters, so for first filter, I will get a 28 cross 28. For second filter, I'll get again 28 cross 28 image. So if I am having 8 filters, so I'll get 28 cross 28 cross 8 size cube. So this process keeps on repeating. Again, I'm applying a pooling. So pooling over here. So filter, that is filter size is 2 cross 2. 2 cross 2 filter, if I'm applying over this, so I would get 14 cross 14, because 28 by 14, because there is no overlapping in the pooling layer. So it would be 14. Okay. So this process is repeated. So over here, you can see for fully connected layer, number of parameters is extremely large. Number of parameters that are learned is extremely large, because this is all the values in the previous layer are connected to all the values in the next layer. So all the 400 cross 120, that is weights for all these, and then bias. Okay. So this is your number of parameters. Over here in the previous layers, you have seen that number of parameters were the size of, this was the size of your filter. Okay, 5 cross 5 cross 3, and then this is your bias. Filter is your weights. So this is the number of weights that you have. This is your bias, and this is the number of filters you have. So if you have 8 filters, so you have to learn 8 weight matrices. Okay. So this is the overall idea. Now some success stories. There is a ImageNet database which is made by researchers of Princeton and Stanford University. So this ImageNet database consists of approximately 14 million images. Okay, and they have trained it on the CNN, and they found that every year they organize this competition called visual recognition challenge. Okay. So every year they organize it, and every time CNN works well. CNN works extremely good on this 14 million image net database. You can find this on website also. So there's a website and you can download this dataset as well. Okay. So what is there in this dataset? All the images are basically for each and every syntax word, all the images are tagged with the text. It is extremely large and useful database. So I'm showing you just previous results. So in the last 2012, CNN performed best with this a bit by a team of University of Toronto for this challenge. Then again for in 2013 also convolution neural network performed best, and so on. After that also for all the for this challenge, every time CNN performs best over the images. So CNN has extremely good accuracy over the images. Now this LeNet is extremely old, older version. These are the classic networks. So in CNN there are some built-in networks. You cannot say that I will use only one pooling layer and I will use only one convolution layer. You have to play with the model very much. You have to add and subtract layers. You have to do so much calculations to find out to improve your accuracy, and you don't know how much you can improve the accuracy. So it's a never-ending process basically. So some classic networks are there, LeNet, like AlexNet. AlexNet is still popular, and AlexNet is not that old. So number of parameters in this is at that time GPUs were not there, so 60,000 parameters. It can work up to 60,000 parameters. It can work up to 60 million of parameters, and it has learned for 138 million parameters. So all these networks are available online. Source code you will find online on Git or something. So you can just download these networks, and you can just download these networks and you can use it for your data set as well. Okay, so all the code with these networks are available online. You can just use them. But these are the recent networks, and ResNets and Inceptions. These are also quite popular. These are also based on CNN. So the only thing that is different in this is how many number of polling layers they are using, how many number of inputs they are taking. So only thing, they have fixed architecture. That is the only thing. So just an example I'm showing you for AlexNet. So in AlexNet it's fixed, like it will give the output, it will take the output of softmax of 1000 values. Okay. So similarly it is having this much filter size, this much max pooling size, and so on. So it is fixed. So it is extremely popular. AlexNet is still popular, but ResNet and Inception networks are newer versions of CNN. Okay. After that, transfer learning. So transfer learning is nothing but you take this whole AlexNet, okay, and you have your input data. You apply this AlexNet as it is, and you just change the softmax layer. You just change this output layer. Instead of 1000 outputs, if you have cat and dog, you just put one neuron and you say, okay, I'll replace this softmax unit with one neuron. Okay. So if I'm replacing output with the output that I require, I can use the whole uh, previously built network as it is. So network is not that only just code. It means code plus the parameters, because they have already saved the weights and biases for this network. You will find the weights and biases for this AlexNet online. Okay, you will find all the code, you will find weights, you will find parameters, you will find output, everything. What you have to do is you have to freeze these layers of layers that you don't want to use. You just freeze them, and you just don't want to retrain it. So these you will set trainable parameter equal to 0 for all these layers that you don't want to retrain, because you think that AlexNet is a benchmark. So you just use the weights they have already created. You just use them, and the only thing that you change is you just, instead of output layer, you can change it accordingly. Or also you can add multiple FC layers if you want. If you can do some changes, but basically you are using the others work that already other people have done. This is the general scenario in CNN, because it is very difficult to train multiple millions of images. It is difficult to retrain them again and again. So instead of retraining it, we just use the original codes where we have weights and parameters. We just use them as it is, and we just add our layers at the end, and we say, okay, I'll start, instead of starting from scratch, I will start from the portion that is not covered in the previous layers, so previous part of benchmark networks. Okay, so this is called transfer learning. Okay, after that I'll show you a quick video of how it would be easier to visualize for you. So this is CNN, and first filter is extracting, this is the way that it is extracting the 3x3 filter is there. It is extracting some values from the images, from the first image. Just visualize it, how it's working. Now you have a second filter and you are doing the same. So for the same image, you have applied 2 filters, so you will get 2 output. Okay. After that, you are applying pooling, and we know that in max pooling we get maximum values. So red values are removed, only green values are retained. Then again we are applying filtering, convolution basically. Then we'll do pooling after that. So for 2 filters, we have done pooling. Now we are merging it, or you can use fully connected and check it with all the 5 labels. So which is giving the highest probability, we'll say, okay, this is my output image. Okay. So this is how it works. So let's move on to